Hey Insiders, Daniel Pickett here, and we're starting a new feature here on the YouTube channel and such. I'm going to call it Julius's Jumbo Corner. Some people used to call me Julius Marks back in the day when I started online, and still know me as that, and so I like the alliteration. So it's Julius's Jumbo Corner. I think a lot of people know by now that I love the Gentle Giant Jumbo figures, not just the Star Wars, but I love, I have the G.I. Joe, I have the Superpowers, I have the Secret Wars. Really, really dig them. They had plans for all sorts of other things, but just didn't come to fruition. But the Star Wars line is still going. It's one that I actually hesitated kind of getting into at first. And I think it was finally they released the blue Snaggletooth figure. And from then I was hooked. I was in. And I'm always a little bit surprised. I know they, believe me, I know they take up a ton of space. I have almost every single one. But I just love, I always love the card art on the vintage line. So seeing it blown up like this was always great. And the guy that did all of the cards in the original Gentle Giant era, Matt, he had such a love of Star Wars and just loved delving into the sort of ephemera and just every little detail, making sure that he found the exact correct image from the archives that go on each of these cards, and just put so much love and attention into them. And I always just love them. So I've been collecting them, like I said, for quite a while. I love them. And so I'm going to start, I did... also, full disclosure, I worked for Gentle Giant for a couple of years, so I had a hand in this line. And it slowed down for a bit, but it's picking back up again in the Diamond Select era now. They're not doing a ton of the original releases right now. It looks like they're kind of focused on sort of what-if figures. What if they had done vintage figures of some of the other movies and TV shows and things, which I still like. I still have them all on pre-order, and I will be happy to add them to my collection. But, I do hope that they are able to get back to some of the classic Kenner figures also. We've been seeing that they still have been doing some of those for the Premier Guild gifts. The last couple were C-3PO with removable limbs and the General Lando figure. So I'm hoping there's still some more in the pipeline. I know there's still more characters to do, even before, I know the fear is always, how are you going to get to, how many people are going to buy the Rancor Keeper and stuff. But we still have versions of Han, Luke, and Leia that have not been released yet. All of the indoor versions have not been released yet. We haven't had the Power of the Force R2-D2 with the lightsaber yet. We got the droids version, but not the actual Power of the Force version. So with just a repaint and a resticker, you've already got that guy tooled up and stuff. So yeah. So anyway, the thing I love about these also, and before I worked for Gentle Giant, I did not open them. But then I had a project that I wanted to do while I worked there to see them all together. And we put together this really cool case of them that we toured around several places. We took it to Comic-Con. We took it to Star Wars Celebration down in Florida. And just seeing them all together like that was so awesome. And I just loved it. And even then we were, I just kind of pieced them together from what I could find around the office. So there were some missing weapons. There were some missing capes. I never got to fully dive into it before the sale of Gentle Giant. But man, I love this line. And I'm always surprised that people don't dive deeper into it because, as rare and as expensive as Kenner figures are, every single one of these Gentle Giant figures is made in such lower quantities than any of the original Kenner stuff. It's not to be believed. So owning any of them, they're just going to continue to climb as people kind of discover them and want to get on board, because there are so many fewer of the jumbos than there are the actual vintage Kenner figures. So the one we're looking at right now is Leia Organa in Bespin Gown. This is actually one I got to have a little hand in before I left. This was one of the ones we worked on, making sure we got that coat right, the vinyl cape, the weapon, everything. And so we're going to open her up and see what's going on with this one. because I'm not afraid to open them now, because they go back in the package really easily if you choose. But before we open her up, let's take a quick look at the back of the package, because I just love it so much. It's made to look like the back of the vintage figures, of course, with the lineup, the cross-sell that you see. According to this, it shows 58 figures released. Now, they're not all unique characters on the back, because they show some of the variants that were done. Brown Snake Yoda, Orange Snake Yoda. There's both Little Head Han, Big Head Han. There's 2 Boba Fett's on here out of the 6 that they've done so far. So, not every single variant is on here. They don't show like brown hair Luke or double telescoping lightsaber Luke, but you can get a pretty good idea of the vast number of these. They also don't have things like Salacious Crumb on here, which is one that they did. The Wampa is not on here. So they've done some really, really cool things. And again, having them all together is so fantastic. So just want to give you a quick look at the back of the package before we crack this open. And here she is open. So the cape has a little bit of a sheen to it, of course, just because it's a much larger size than what the vintage one was. There are, I think, 3 or 4 different variants of what her collar looks like on different Leia figures. We ultimately decided to go with just the rounded gold collar, because that's what Matt and I both had as kids. And so that's the one we grew up with. So that's the one we chose. You can see she comes with her weapon. She can hold it in her hand. Just want to spin her around here. She has the typical 5 points of articulation. The head, let's see here. Both arms. And the legs. And she has the peg holes in the feet, just like the other. This is my vintage one from childhood. You can see she's missing a little bit of paint on her face, on her hands, and she's kind of faded with age. I don't have her weapon out right now, but I've got it. I think this is actually a repro cape, because I don't know, for some reason as a kid I took them off immediately. So the reason the color doesn't match is this one is not correct. But yeah, I just wanted to have it for display. I'll get another one with a real cape at some point. I just wanted to have it on display like that for now. So there you have it. That is the Gentle Giant Star Wars Jumbo Princess Leia in Bespin outfit jumbo figure, and part of the Jumbo collection. And she will go into my Jumbo collection, which I am starting to display loose. And when I have that all put together, I will show you that too at some point. But I want to start talking about these Jumbo figures just because I love them so much. I want to give them more visibility because I want this line to continue. I want to see more of the Kenner figures, and I'll take more of the figures Kenner didn't make. They're doing a Grand Moff Tarkin and some things like that, and I fully support that. And I wish Hasbro would be doing some of that too, but since they're not, I'll stick with the Gentle Giant / Diamond Select ones. Do you have a favorite Jumbo? Do you have one that you wish they would do? Let us know in the comments below. And also, while you're clicking on things around here, make sure you like, subscribe, and tell your friends, tell your families, tell your bitter blood enemies about the Action Figure Insider YouTube channel. We'd love to talk more toys with you. Thank you so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll be back with lots more toy goodness on Action Figure Insider and actionfigureinsider.com.